Hello and welcome to You Can't Make This Shit Up. This is Jay in Washington production. Today we're going to be talking about the future waiting. Nancy Pelosi, former Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives, has announced her intention to seek re-election in November. Pelosi, 83, has represented her San Francisco district since 1987 and served as Speaker in two non-consecutive terms from 2007 to 2011 and 2019 to 23. Numerous San Francisco politicos are adjusting their political ambitions because of Pelosi's unretiring. Polls indicate that a majority of Americans are concerned about the age of their political leaders and favor age limits for those in the White House and Congress. National politics is aging, and David and I are going to take a look at it. Let's go.
All right, here we go. 83 years ago, she started representing San Francisco in Congress when I graduated from high school in 87. So, do the math. And 83, she was, I guess, born in 1940. That's my mother's age. I'm a little disappointed. There are several leaders much younger than 83 in her district in San Francisco who were planning to run for her seat, planning to offer their own agenda for their community. And now, I guess for lack of a better analogy, they're, resetting, shuffling the deck chairs on the Titanic here. Any chance of running against Pelosi is a no-go.
Yeah, I question your intention if you're unwilling to allow progress. Obviously, she's been in power in that region for a while, and at some point, for the sake of the people that you're supposedly representing, you need to be open to change. And I think that that's something that older politicians maybe should take a back seat as being the face of these districts and maybe offer guidance and counsel to these younger politicians without, having to be the center of the spotlight. I mean, if you're 83 years old, I mean, yeah, you have very relevant political experience. You've been
Right.
But there's nothing saying that you can't offer counsel and advice to these young politicians. So I question the intentions of someone who's been in control of something and unwilling to relinquish their control.
I have to agree with you. I'm with all respect to the speaker emeritus, if I said that correctly. Nancy Pelosi has been phenomenal for the Democratic Party, especially in California. A hell of a fundraiser, of course. The institutional knowledge that she has, incredible. However, there's a generation of leaders who are waiting to represent their community and to change the dynamic of this coming election. It's disheartening. Again, respect to the speaker emeritus. She's done well. However, when here in Florida, we're celebrating the first Gen Z Congress person to be elected, and then we're seeing the old guard come back and say, we can do better. It's again disheartening.
Right. And I think that there's just it's going to continue to get worse and worse unless restrictions are made. So, as life expectancy is going to continue to increase with as medicine gets better, I don't think that the generation following Pelosi's is going to be willing to step down either. So,
no. No.
I think that there's a lot of criticism coming from generation below because they're becoming impatient
Sure.
and waiting for their turn. So why would they give up their control when they get it? It's going to be a never-ending cycle where everyone representing you is going to be twice your age, and so then that becomes frustrating. And there's no sign of it stopping unless government puts its foot down and says, "Okay, well, there's an age limit now," and I think there should be.
My only pushback is that I believe that if there are going to be age restrictions or any type of restrictions on having someone serve X amount of terms and that's it, I believe that should be left up to the voters. So if the voters of San Francisco, of Pelosi district, find that or encourage an opponent to Nancy Pelosi in the Democratic, uh, primary, they should do that. Encourage, fund, assist that opponent, and offer an opportunity, offer alternative to the former speaker coming back. Um, I don't. I believe term limits start with people actually voting.
That's a problem. In San Francisco. I mean, you're not gonna get people to come out and vote, and San Francisco is suffering because of it. And
Mhm.
it's people are stubborn. They're not gonna do it. And that's the problem, is that yeah, you can ideally people would go out and care about their community and vote, but um it's just not gonna happen unless something, serious happens. But I think what seriously needs to happen is for there to be a change in the way that because whoever does go to vote is going to see, oh, it's a Democrat, and I recognize the name Pelosi. And the general
Right.
public does not pay enough attention to know anything about it. I mean, you go and a lot of people just vote based on color,
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter. Oh, I recognize that name. It's a Democratic candidate. They have my vote. And so I don't think, especially in San Francisco, you can put faith in people to go out and vote correctly. If that's a change that even the majority of the public would want, when they get to the booth, they're not going to know what to do.
It's true. People, vote on what they identify with, whether it's by race or sex, or party affiliation, and it's very true. In business that we're in, we do see that, and it's often manipulated by campaigns, by politicals, so forth and so on. And that's the problem with politics here in America. It is a spectator sport, and citizens need to be more involved. I mean, eh, can can we think, realize that maybe perhaps our Gen Z congressman here in Central Florida could be in Congress for the next 50 years
I don't know.
and still be considered relatively young compared to a 3-year-old Speaker Pelosi.
Yeah, I think that's far too long. And
50 years.
I think at a certain point you have to be, if you're in power and you're in power for that long, at a certain point you become disconnected with the public that you serve.
Sure,
So
sure.
I question, obviously I question the people's ability to vote for what they truly believe is correct, but I question, politicians who refuse to step down out of the spotlight, and um, their communities are suffering for it. And ultimately, I think I don't know if you've ever been to San Francisco. Um,
Yes, yes, I have
it
twice.
it is very it has a lot of potential. That's what I'll leave it at, and
Okay,
it's not being used to its full potential. It's a very beautiful city.
it is.
But it's very clear that there are some things that are standing in its way, and I
Sure.
I question whether or not uh, the government will do what needs to be done to get it to where it needs to be. So I struggle with the age, because, like you said, 83. You're lucky if they could see the paperwork they're signing.
That's true. I mean, she and Speaker Pelosi has a ton of energy and very witty. It's just that the timing. What compelled her to get back into this headache called American politics, and what is it that she sees that is causing the urgency to come back? That's what I really want to know. Is there something that we're missing that she has seen that says, something, these younglings that want to, you know, um, succeed me, they don't have what it'll take to take on what the next, presidential cycle or whatever is ahead.
And maybe they don't,
Mhm.
but maybe they never will if they're never given the opportunity to. And
Mhm.
honestly, I think that at some point you have to. It's the same thing if you're a parent and you're sending your kid off to college. I mean, you're just basically praying that they feed themselves. But at some point you have to take that jump and you have to make that risk. And at least that in this case, if Pelosi were to step down, at least she'd be able to supervise.
Sure.
But by the time that
Mhm.
she's done with her next term, maybe she's not around to serve as counsel to the next person. I mean, she should be utilizing her strengths to support the next representative rather than taking on the responsibility of something that she may be over her head in. And now when she's gone, all of her knowledge goes with her.
Right.
I mean, you can study all you want, but you'll learn more from speaking to someone. And um,
It's not like she needs the money.
no, absolutely not. And it's just across the board. I think it's a stubbornness thing, and
Sure.
it's everybody is stubborn. Everybody thinks that they're right, and I think it has to be more of a team effort if we're gonna get to a place that's productive again. So
I'm sure this affects the House, the House Democrats leadership. Where would she be in the line of succession to speaker if she does, if the Democrats are able to retake the House after 2024? Where will she be in that leadership? Mm, Man, there's a lot of repercussions to her actions.
right, and she knows that whenever she's willing to hang it up, she has a job within the Democratic Party regardless.
Oh yeah,
So
definitely.
it's very very questionable, and I think it's facing the presidency as well. But that's a
Yeah,
entirely different topic. So
entirely different. Entirely different. However, let us know. What you think. Let us know what your opinion is on former Speaker Pelosi deciding to run for her San Francisco congressional seat again and being right back into national politics. It's fascinating. We believe it's time for a new generation, and but it's the voters of California, the voters of San Francisco that matter, and you matter. We matter. Our community matters. We love to hear your comments. We love the interaction, the feedback. We get back to as many of our comments as possible. So please, if you enjoy what you hear, what you see, or even if you don't, share it with your friends, family, those politicos and electeds that you know. We've got a lot of great ideas and new content coming to you in the near future before the end of the year 2023. And we look forward to seeing you even more so in the future. Check us out all over our socials: LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Meta, Instagram, Threads. Did I miss one? I'm sure I did. Of course, YouTube. Follow us on our network on YouTube. We're out of here. You can't make this shit up. Dan, David, bye.